I'm gonna be upfront and honest with all you. The news is kind of getting slow, and my sources are not getting better, and the news isn't getting any sillier. So, fuck it, we're doing an essay type piece, I guess. When I was growing up in like the early 2000s, and the internet was starting to become like a new thing, everybody on like my age basically wanted to become something. And that something almost turned into very much kind of a new category for everybody, like even me, wanted to be, which was being of a YouTuber. On a particular place called YouTube, if you haven't heard about it, a place where you can very much upload any viral video from your own computer and become a star, if you were basically lucky enough. It was basically the dream job that anybody wanted to be. And who wouldn't? Like, this is practically the job that many people very much do want to have. And in hindsight, it very much looks like it's just easy. You just need, like, a camera, a microphone, like, throw in some, like, recording software and editing software. You're basically, like, good to go. But since the introduction to things of being able to be paid onto the platform, which, to be fair, was kind of an inevitable thing that was going to happen anyway, so it's not exactly much of an entire bad thing to do to get paid for your videos. But that ended up blowing up the floodgates for basically anybody to very much have a piece of the pie and take what they very much want. The whole thing ended up essentially becoming like a kind of a cookie clicker type thing, where very much clicking on it repeatedly just ends up giving out like a money glitch. Anybody is able to get paid onto YouTube, but that means that also anybody is able to upload any type of content onto the website, and it very much has benefited a lot of people because that means everybody's going to be paid for their hard work, but also some are not going to exactly be feeling a lot of like content, at least in there. But you can very much tell on just how that over its course of its history, YouTube has very much changed in that from kind of being in that for a lot of the creators to almost kind of having just to outright just like turn the other way and just not acknowledge anything that's going on. The platform has not exactly seen some better days, honestly. The almost broken copyright system that has plagued in all creators, to the amount of bot channels that have been spread around the website, and to the weirdly glorified like bistifications of like thumbnails, videos, and just everything else. It kind of makes it look like that YouTube has only existed just to benefit the pockets of people as kind of like a side hobby than anything else. Which, to be fair, that's how you usually should treat YouTube most of the time if you very much want to grow into the space. But it just feels a little less just authentic and a lot less like real compared to like the early days. Like, let's be honest, these thumbnails, I hate them. I really do not like them. I'm sorry. Like, this just looks like something out of like Garn or Bam Bam. Like, I'm gonna have like another like dream sequence, and it's gonna be like I'm gonna see Sigger Flynn right there again. A lot of this has been problems that people have been spoken about for years and years and years, and it very much is the same like process all over again, where like people very much want to address it, but YouTube does nothing to do anything about it. And it will differ depending on like how most people end up kind of seeing it and being of a YouTuber, and how it very much has created this divide on what content means. There's this video that legitimately has lived rent free in my head, where if a content guru on Twitter was basically telling how to make good content, and the good content was basically just him downloading Subway Surfers, putting a AI Reddit story above it, put it onto YouTube Shorts, and that's it. Even though the dude had like a whole entire like studio set up for himself, where he could literally use any other program to run that shit. But no, he did all that thing within like his phone, and it makes no sense either way. That shit is fucking stupid. Like, I'm going to admit it. That is just like the dumbest shit out there. If you were to tell me straight up that is like even remotely type of thing of good content, I'm going to assume that you lived on Skid Row. You didn't even bother to actually even record Subway Surfers footage. This isn't very much me saying that being a YouTuber back in the early 2010s was very much a better, or that modern YouTube has very much lost a lot of identity because of like it's being in the hands of Google. It's a lot of that kind of compressed into this question: does being a YouTuber matter? To make sure we get everything, you are very much good with being recorded on and all that. That's just
Yes, I waive my human rights and everything. Where do I sign? If you kill me, I can't sue you.
Yeah.
My name is Michael Hulala. My name is also Michael Hulala. Yeah, I know. I'm a YouTuber. I've been a YouTuber for Jesus Christ. I've been a YouTuber for a while. I made my YouTube account in 2018. But I didn't really start making videos until like 2020, 2021. And I started taking it seriously around like a year and a half ago, kind of, maybe about 2 years almost. And my content's changed a lot. I used to do like shitty tutorials for like Sea of Thieves and video game stuff. And then I did economics. Yeah, it was weird. And now I do like pyrocynical style kind of, but not video essay type things about video games. I have like 2 point something subscribers as of recording. It's like 2.8. So that's cool. You know, hopefully that number will keep going up. And I have a really bad upload schedule.
Hello, I'm Suspicious Ramen. I have about 600 subscribers. And I make gaming content, I stream, and, you know, just all around have fun.
Hello everybody, my name's Izzy Loddle, and I am so excited to be here. You can catch me here on YouTube over at my channel, Izzy Loddle VTube, and yeah, let's go, let's have some fun.
Hi, my name is Maddie. I go by Monkey Maddie, formerly Maddie Does TTV, Maddie Does YouTube. I am a gaming and commentary YouTuber / Twitch streamer. Mostly play Overwatch, Minecraft, Roblox, sometimes CS. Not a very big creator, definitely still starting out. Have a lot of connections with some great Minecraft YouTubers, but yeah.
Hello, everybody. How's your day going? Because it's about to get better. I'm Dr. Derb Gamer. I am probably most known for my appearances on JSchlatt streams, but my main channel is actually more so about analysis of different YouTubers and different topics in general, not just JSchlatt, but primarily JSchlatt as of the moment. If you don't know who JSchlatt is, just watch my YouTube channel and you'll find out.
Hello, I am Nomad. My tag is Heart of Nomad on YouTube. I have around 33,000 or 34, I forget the number, thousand subscribers. I make commentary, video essays. I don't really know.
Do you feel like modern YouTube has become better over the course of its history, or do you believe that has like gone worse?
I think in a lot of ways, YouTube has gotten better. I think in terms of how they have been able to pay out creators, it's gotten a lot better. Like uploading content is a lot easier. Becoming a YouTuber is a lot easier than it was, say, like in like even 2015. But there are some ways that I think it's gotten worse. We've seen communities become a lot more aggressive than they had been. Cancel culture came up. You have stuff like YouTube Shorts that have caused even the size of the play button. I had a couple friends who just received their 100,000 sub play button, and it's significantly smaller. I mean, we're talking about going from like something that's like the size of your head down to like the size of a phone, because they're giving these play buttons out to Shorts YouTubers, which completely separate thing, but I think that's part of YouTube's downfall. But I mean, like I said, there's a lot of pros and cons. I think for the most part, YouTube's gotten better. It's becoming a better place for content creators, but there are definitely the negatives that have came with it.
So I think that modern YouTube definitely has gotten better. I feel like it's less of a toxic space, because before it was a lot of like, I mean, we had like Leafy and stuff like that. Like it was a lot of just like, just name dropping Leafy is crazy, not gonna lie. Like not even just like Leafy, but there are like a bunch of other YouTubers that obviously did some things, said some things. Like it wasn't refined to what it is now. And yes, now it's still like not the greatest in terms of just like some of the controversies and stuff like that. But it's like you can't really ignore that or like evade that entirely. It is something that's going to happen regardless.
Well, I think there's two sides to this, honestly, because when I was getting big on YouTube with my team at MOI, that was around like 2016, 2017, and honestly, like I've always held the opinion that like 2013 through like 2016 YouTube is like peak. Like that is the best it ever was, and like honestly in my opinion will ever be. I do like some of the additions to YouTube that they've done. Like I'm not gonna lie, I do really like Shorts. I don't use TikTok myself, so Shorts is I think it's a good addition. With how much controversy we've had pop up over the past like 5-6 years, you know, with all of our old favorite YouTubers either coming out to be like super bad people or retiring, like the new wave of YouTube brings a lot of good. But, you know, the past couple of years, I feel like there's just been a lot of problems.
It depends on the changes you look at, where monetarily, it's a lot better. It's so much better than it was. It's a better time monetarily than it ever was. But I think the first thing people think of is, does that compromise creativity?
Well, it really matters in what way that you're talking about it, because in many ways, yeah, YouTube has definitely gotten better. You know, it's a lot more accessible. It's a lot more of a respected and acknowledged field as far as people seeing it as a career. You know, they're like, wow, YouTubers make a lot of money. So in that way, it has gotten better, but definitely the creative aspect, while it is more accessible, it's a lot more difficult to actually do particularly what you want.
I'm gonna be honest. I really wasn't into YouTube when I was young. So and when I did finally get into YouTube, I had a very like close circle of the content creators I watched. So like, I did not give a fuck about PewDiePie T-Series. I didn't know who the hell Leafy was. But now, you know, I've taken the time to look back and rewatch all this stuff and, you know, see like, okay, what was YouTube like back then? So I know like what the adpocalypse is and everything like that. I definitely think that modern YouTube has some issues, but at the same time, I also think that there's some really useful things that modern YouTube has that we just didn't have back then. Like the copyright system, right? Like it can be annoying, but also the fact that you can easily remove a song, remove audio from a video and still maintain monetization is incredible. You know, it isn't incredible. The only way to reach YouTube is Twitter. Still. It like beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning, it's like they still like even like bigger creators of like large amount of size, they're not like immune to this type of shit. Like
yeah.
You literally have to get like almost things like to go over there and like do all this stuff. It's just like why we need to do this? I think we should have like an actual like system in there to like give us like the things that we should be able to be easily asked in for. Because I feel like they could just do it, but like they just will never like implement that. I feel.
I definitely have beef with it because my last video, the latest video, got 2 copyright claims, and one of them is still in dispute. I'm going to automatically win it in 4 days, and then I'll finally see that I made a whopping like 2 cents from the video because it just killed all the impressions and everything because of it. It's nice to have those tools. It's nice to have. I do think that recently they did kind of try to do like that AI stuff with like AI ideas, AI inspiration, and it's so shit because it gives you a suggestion, and then it says like low interest. Why are you giving me a suggestion that you know no one wants to watch? That makes no sense. Give me like the Mr. Beast situation is insane or something.
Being a niche is the result of following a trend, or at least paying attention to a trend, but it also means you're stuck into that trend, so when something does change,
yeah,
you either cash out or you just kind of fizzle out.
The worst part about current YouTube is probably the censorship. I understand why they do it, but with the way that it's being done, it's unnecessary. Like I'm sure you probably have heard that like a lot of people have been getting their channels like shut down for literally no good reason.
Yeah, no, like I even like especially been hearing a lot for like specifically like VTubers has also been like ASMR as well. Like they've been having like a whole history of that happening to them, and just like it never gets resolved like at all.
No, it's sad too. Like, and I'm pretty sure from what I've heard, like a lot of the filters that YouTube passes its content through is like, you know, it's bots and it's AI. So like if it flags something, like more often than not, it got flagged by something that wasn't human. And from what I've understood, that like when people have this happen and then they go to YouTube itself to get it resolved, it does take a little bit. And for some people, you kind of really have to like twist YouTube's arm behind its back. It's nobody's safe here. Like big or small, like nobody is safe, and it's devastating either way. I think that's the worst part. Like it sucks. Like I can't even imagine how it would feel to like see a channel that you've put so much time and energy and effort into just completely go away, you know? Like it's so upsetting, and I really hope that in the future they change that.
Obviously the culture of YouTube has changed a lot. Beastification. There is essay upon video talking about why it's so bad and everything.
Right? It's very well known that right now there's a beastification of YouTube where, you know, these sort of game show style videos are the thing that is the most popular. And that definitely has its place, though it's like YouTube itself is being taken as a game instead of as a, you know, medium or a platform to make videos and be creative and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, there's certainly still a lot of videos on the internet and on YouTube that get put out, but as far as multiple different aspects of it, it's more accessible, but it's also kind of more watered down.
But it's like YouTube's an industry. You can make a lot of money from it, and a lot of people are trying to get into it. And this is just inevitable. You'll find this everywhere. Every single thing that becomes big becomes bad.
Me growing up with YouTube, I would say that like it is moving in a very interesting direction in terms of like content creation itself. Like with faster pace like videos and stuff like that, and like that's been conversations like over and over, like time and time again. I don't need a bunch of action when I watch a video. Like I can just watch a video just for what it is, as long as it's like what I'm watching is interesting enough, you know. In terms of like actual content creation, like is that moving in a positive direction? Also kind of wishy-washy. So I feel like for both cases of controversies and stuff like that, and like content creation itself, I feel like they're both moving in a positive direction. I won't say in the best direction, but it's moving in a positive direction nonetheless.
Do you think certain creators have fallen off, or do you think that these creators didn't deserve the recognition at all?
I think falling off is a little rude, but yeah, I mean, there's just some people that aren't gonna keep doing the same thing for 10 years, and then when they try to do something new, it's just not gonna work out as well. But there's still some YouTubers I think of that I've watched for 10 years, and they still have longevity, like Rebel Taxi. He's still just as good as he was.
So creators obviously fall off, and like there are some creators that do not deserve any of the recognition that they've gotten. I mean, I can't name examples, but like I'm sure there are. Like they should not have a platform.
I'm not gonna name drop. For the sake of myself.
That's fair.
I will name drop in a positive light. People such as Markiplier, PewDiePie, even to some extent Game Theory. These are names that, like I said, that came around way back in the day, like 10 years ago, 2015. They're still making YouTube videos. They're still putting stuff out, and they haven't really had any type of negative impact. There are people I know of that have fallen off and 100% deserved it. And I say this because they would go on to portray themselves in such a positive light. They would make good content, some of them. They would do something like abuse their girlfriend or get involved with minors. And I'm like, okay, well, you don't deserve that money. You don't deserve that fame. Now you, like, essentially deserve the fall off that you are getting. I know that you had also mentioned like people who didn't deserve to blow up in the first place. I think wholeheartedly that if you are able to find a way to get to where you are, you deserve it. I mean, people, like, even if it's just uploading a stupid clip, somebody wanted to watch it, enough people that you blew up, so you deserve it in some sense.
I think that's kind of a subjective thing, because it's like, who am I to decide if someone deserves or doesn't deserve recognition? In my opinion, I think every single creator deserves some recognition. Some don't deserve as much as they get. Logan Paul. But I definitely, the fall off is real. The fall off is so real. I think the worst part of it is if you're a creator and that's your job, that's your hobby, and you see that you're falling off, what do? Because it's like, this is your passion. You can't, if you can do what many people do and just quit, right? Like Pat, you had that whole wave of people in last year who were quitting. And that's really respectable, because it's like, I would never be able to do that. I'm gonna be honest. If I love my job, if I love making videos, I will want to keep making them. And I think the people who continue making them, if they genuinely enjoy their content, you can't really call it a fall off because they don't give a fuck about the views.
The thing that I've noticed with the pattern of, like, you know, quote unquote falling off is that because the YouTube algorithm is constantly changing, you have that to worry about, you know. Every now and again, like, you have big YouTubers coming out being like, the algorithm is being awful again, this, that, the other. But there's also the fact that over years and years and years and years of doing content, there can be a lull in your content versus like what your viewers are wanting to watch, because, you know, as your viewers get older, they're gonna want to branch out and like look at different things. Most obvious cases that I would think of is like Tobuscus. You know, he was huge, and then he had that huge controversy, and even though in the end it turned out that that controversy really like was kind of based on falsified information, his career was done. And he's tried to come back like again and again and again. And I've just over the years like kind of popped in every now and again, but it became less of a, oh, let's pop in and see how Toby's doing, and more of a, let's go see what Toby's doing now, because he's just become like completely unhinged. And that's like a case where I'd be like, yeah, no, he fell off. But there's another case like with Girl DM. I remember that there was like a point in time where like her view count kind of started to like dip a little bit more, and I think that might have been because she was more focusing on streaming rather than YouTube content, and like so I think she was putting out less on YouTube. Now it's like back up to a really like decent amount. Like she's doing good for herself, and I wouldn't say that she necessarily fell off, but it is a good example of like how sometimes like when you're a creator, you are gonna have a peak, so to say, and then there might like happen to be a lull after the fact. But people come and go, you know, especially for smaller channels. Like your views might not be linearly like improving. Like, you know, you might get 7K on one video and then maybe 13K on another video, and then like 2.4K on another video. I've seen that with a few like small, like less than 10K subscribers like channels, but you still have that core audience, and I think that that's more important than anything, because once your core audience kind of crumbles apart, then that's when you can say, oh yeah, no, you fell off. Like there's nothing really left here for anyone, you know?
The most recent example I thought of where I just realized I didn't enjoy someone's content as much as I used to like 7 years ago was like Todd in the Shadows. I just heard a few jokes he made and I was like, damn, I don't know if I like watching him anymore. But I would still recommend him. I think he still has an audience of people that would like him, but it almost feels like a trope saying items at this point, but it is just a thing where it's like, I just don't have fun watching him.
Yeah, no, I never grew up much within like either. I only saw like him memes with like the other people he hanging out, like Chad, Maximofo, Joji. But like I did not exactly, but like I knew that he had like a big reputation of like, you know, with things of like content cop, the Kickstarter videos that he has done, and to see him very much kind of do like a major fall for like of him like wanting to show like change a lot more from the person that he was.
I don't want to get the wrong idea and say like, oh, iDubbbz has gone woke or anything.
Yeah, no.
He's just not fun to watch. Like I watch his stuff and it's like, I can tell he's overthinking everything he does now.
There are definitely creators that have fallen off that were really like popular. Their viewership kind of died down. Like you have like the like diehard like fans of them, but still like they like weren't getting as many views as they were before. Prime example, Tommy Innit, our good friend Mr. Dr. Derp Gamer has talked about him like and whatnot.
You know, someone that has quote unquote fallen off, I've talked about this in my one video about falling off, is PewDiePie. He's someone that, you know, you at a time, he like really defined an era, but now he doesn't really upload, and whenever he does upload, he doesn't get nearly the same amount of views. Like if you look at it from a statistic point of view, PewDiePie has fallen off. However, I don't really see that as a problem, especially not for him, because him falling off statistically is him thriving emotionally, mentally. So
He's a
in-
lot more like, he's kind of like one like at YouTube in its entirety, and it really much does not matter if he does upload or he doesn't upload, and he's most fine with not being as popular as he was like back then.
Yeah, because also what YouTube asks of people is different than whenever he was, you know, on top.
Like if I go and I see a YouTube channel that has 1 million subscribers and all their videos are getting 9K views, yeah, you fell off. All right, like face it, buddy. And that's fine. If you want to make videos, okay, make a new channel. Or something like that. I don't know. I can't tell you what to do, but I definitely think everyone deserves recognition if you actually put effort into your content. So content farms, Quebblecott, stuff like that, No. I definitely think Moist Critical does not deserve to have as many subscribers as he does. Like, that's just ridiculous. He makes so much money from doing basically fuck all. He just sits there and he goes, hey guys, so I just saw this guy get hit by a Tesla, and it reminded me of Elon Musk doing the Nazi salute. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. See ya. And then it gets like 900K in a day. Like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But I think the biggest problem when it comes to successful YouTubers is the mentality it generates. Like, oh, this is Much Critical. He's literally a nobody. He's talking about some random shit. I can do this. I can do better, which means I can become YouTube famous and successful. And people don't realize how hard it is.
It's like a small career. Do you think that being a YouTuber like now has been a lot more harder, or do you believe it has created more opportunities for basically who wants to enter in this?
Okay, this is kind of a double-edged sword. In some ways, there is like, oh, if I started making content at this time, it would have been easier. But I think, like, no matter which way you go, it's one of those, the grass is greener on the other side. If you're making content, say, back in 2015, you don't have the same resources. You probably weren't at the same economic stance. Like, there are so many things that would be different. Whereas today, it is incredibly easy to upload to YouTube. I know, like, a lot of my friends, like, our setups are way better than they were in 2015. Like, even if we could have made YouTube videos back then, the production value wouldn't be nearly as high. And, like, I wouldn't know the people that I know now. So, like, personally, for me, I think right now is the best time. I don't think the quality would have been as high. I mean, obviously not. I mean, if you watch the videos from back in 2015, you literally have, like, a little box in the corner and then they're playing a game. I think the people who were able to hold on to that wave when it happened, great for them. I'm happy for them, but I think right now is the best time for a lot of people for different reasons.
I'm going to say it is harder to be a YouTuber now. And that is like an idea I've had in the back of my head to like make a video with, but it's half of it's like hindsight is 2020. I look at like everyone that came before right now, and it's like I could have done that. I could have done that the way they could have done it, and I would have had 1 million subscribers by now. But I'm doing it right now, and I've only got 30,000, and I'm trying to adapt it. I'm trying to catch up with them, but that's how I feel deep down. I mean, there's people that'll tell you it's easier now, but those people are faceless channels that
like YouTube
know how to,
content
like,
gurus that
content
like
very
tell you like,
efficiently.
hey, let's re-record Subway Surfers and then put out Reddit story AI and then like shit into it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, that's good content. It's like, no, you didn't make anything.
Well, they don't care about good content. They're just like, what will people watch?
What
will people
will
just,
do if the number goes higher and it's like it makes you
Yeah.
feel better?
Way back when, if you became successful, you didn't really have to scramble as much to maintain relevance. You were successful, you're a fucking Markiplier, you release another episode of Five Nights at Freddy's, congrats, you're a YouTuber now. Now it's like, Mahak Tua was lucky that she maintained that relevant, but like, the guy who bought property in Egypt, no one remembers him. Who, right? Like, I don't know.
I didn't even know. Like, honestly, that's fair. I didn't even know there was a guy who bought property in Egypt.
There you go. I mean, I bought a property in Egypt. What they do for you? Hey, yo, chill the fuck out, bro.
Definitely not as hard as it was. Those who say that it is as hard as it was do not know how hard it was at a time. I mean, me and you, we can't really gauge if it's as hard as it was because we haven't been around. We haven't even made it once. So how can we say if it's easier than making it, back in the day, where in a statistical sense or an analytics sense, it is a lot easier and a lot more accessible to get your face out there, where if you know exactly what to do, then you will be able to get your face out there. While back in the day, it was kind of entirely luck. Like, people knew what they were doing, and you can say that it wasn't actually luck. It was also statistics. It was just people didn't know what the statistics were yet. And I can understand that. However, there were so many things that were going into it that weren't really statistics, like not as set in stone as the statistics that we have today and analytics that we have today.
I'd honestly say it's created more opportunities. I will say, as an example, when I was just doing my own channel, way back when, I was at like 2K after grinding for like a couple of months. And like that was huge for me at the time. But my most recent video that I released, it ended up pulling a lot more views than I expected, and I ended up gaining 1,000 subscribers within the week after not posting for 5 years, which was insane. So that kind of completely threw my ideology of like how the algorithm truly works out the window, because I genuinely thought that maybe I would be getting like 2,000, 3,000 views on that video at most, and that would be after like a couple weeks of it being out. It shot to 15K views within the week. And I was like, oh, wow, oh. Now I'm sitting at 4,000 subscribers, and it's hard to say that, like, you know, YouTube isn't hard, because it is. Like, it is a grind still, and you still have to be consistently producing content in order to continue to grow. I would say that part of it is also just luck-based as well. There is a very small part of it that is luck-based. You know, if you have a video that takes off and that, like, kind of jump starts your like following, because I've seen some VTubers where they will post, you know, a couple of shorts and then one gets really big out of nowhere, and then after that they just continued to grow, and it's really cool to see, but you do kind of have to play the game.
I feel like it has become harder just because so many people are trying to like become a creator. Like there's a lot of people that want to be creators, are trying, streamers, YouTubers, like all of the above, right? So I guess like it has become more saturated in that sense. I mean, there are so many creators on like YouTube already. Like it's hard to even like, you really have to like put yourself out there, you know, in terms of just content creation. Like small creators, like we try our best, you know, we try our best. We make the videos and, you know, hope someone finds it interesting enough to, you know, click. Even back in like 2010, like I feel like it was still like kind of hard to become a YouTuber. So I feel like at any point you ask someone like, is it hard to become a YouTuber now? Regardless of when you ask them, I feel like the answer is still yes. The opportunities, I mean, obviously a lot of opportunities are given essentially because of this. It has become more normalized. People are more okay with it. People know it is a thing. People know it is a job, a form of like to promote yourself, even if it's not for like yourself, like for a company. You can promote yourself like using like, I mean, we're talking YouTube, but still like TikTok, like you can use like TikTok, Instagram, like whatever to promote yourself more, like your brand.
At the end of the day, we do have kind of that like nostalgia blindness, right? Like looking back, we don't
like
get
rose
the picture
tinted
because we don't.
Rose tinted.
Yeah,
glasses,
rose tinted.
essentially.
Way back when, you could become famous by, as Zark says it, collecting the 8 pages.
We all know that the days of becoming YouTube famous from like collecting the 8 pages, those days have been over for a while. But we have come from probably being the most diverse and creative place on the entire internet to just another industry dictated by predefined ways of becoming successful.
New card.
And doing a little soy face, right? And like, yeah, but those days are long over. Now, YouTube is this whole, like, you have to analyze everything. You have to maximize your click-through. You have to have search engine optimization, and you push the buttons and stuff.
You have to be like James Donaldson. Like, he literally, like...
There you go,
studied,
Jimmy fucking Beast.
Yeah, literally, like, to study the entire algorithm.
He is such an extreme where YouTube is him. Like, it's not he is him. YouTube has consumed him. He's like Victor from Arcane.
Knowledge is a paradox. The more one understands, the more one realizes the vastness of his ignorance.
There is a huge sector of YouTube that is focused on the numbers game, and you can kind of see that in their content, where I've talked about it with a few other people, but there are a few YouTubers where they don't really think about what they make, so they'll unintentionally, or probably intentionally really, make like extremely shocking content or stuff that's just like genuinely offensive, but they don't think about that. They think about, oh, this is what's working for me, let me keep doing this, but keep, you know, making it riskier and more frisky. So instead of talking about mass shootings, we're going to talk about school shootings, then we're going to talk about hate crimes. I think that's probably the worst consequence of content farming on YouTube. Probably the worst consequence, yeah. The channel I'm talking about is Boxhead. He's the one that does those videos. It's like that, and there's also those police body cam videos where there's a very true crime element that's really popular on YouTube, where I forget what's measurement it is, but there's some sort of graph out there where it's like people don't want to watch death, but they want to watch like that weird little uncanny valley before imminent danger, and that's what those true crime channels are kind of
yeah,
at.
I know exactly what you mean. I don't know the word for it, like what it could, this like sentence, the right sentence for it, but I absolutely know what you mean. I think I've seen something like that beforehand.
It's a lot easier to get your name out there. However, I would say it is equally, if not harder, to distinguish yourself as your own person and to be out there and successful creatively. Because back in the day, it was a lot. It was luck, right? It was a lot more
Yeah,
luck based.
it was
whereas
a
this,
lot
like,
more luck.
the algorithm just kind of blessed you. Because of that, whenever the algorithm did bless you, you were kind of able to do a lot more. Where now, because it's so more rigid and structured, it's a lot less free flowing. So you get a lot less freedom in that.
I do think it is harder, but also I think it's easier. Hear me out, okay? It's harder in the sense that it's hard to be original because there's so many people trying it. A good example is Minecraft, right? If you take Minecraft as an example and then scale it up to YouTube, okay, everyone has done fucking everything for Minecraft. If you want to be original, you have to do something really, really hard, right? Like, I built a 1-to-1 scale of, I don't know, the human bot. Actually, no, that's not 1-to-1. Okay, point is, you have to do something really complicated. You have to code, like, some crazy mod or something, and pull off something insane, like Dream did, except he faked everything. And that's how you become successful. And then, oh, here come all the other people, and they're gonna be copying and stealing it, and there goes your fame. It's very nuclear. There comes a point as a YouTuber where you know, as a YouTuber, right, you start really low, and there's like this really high learning curve with YouTube. But as you grow and grow, you learn stuff. And there comes a point where you have a basic enough understanding of YouTube, probably kind of where I'm at now, where it's like, if I really wanted to right now, I could make a content farm. I could make AI slop. But then I could not do it AI, and I have an idea of, like, I could be raking in good amount of money from YouTube if I really wanted to, but I don't care. Like, I would literally I would take every Moist Critical upload, whenever he uploads it, run the transcript through ChatGPT, get a bullet point summary, summarize it by talking, put like CSGO surf footage over it, edit that, and call it name of the video in 60 seconds. Upload it to YouTube, boom! Now suddenly he has direct competition and he's fucked.
It's about the same in terms of difficulty. There are a lot more channels and there are a lot more people doing YouTube. But if you just continue to release content that's high quality and you continue to be personable with your audience, you will grow.
I think it is a lot more just like that, trying to be a new face. At least even like nowadays, is hard because of like how, like you mentioned before, it's like a lot more of like everybody's trying to be like either like a clone because like they're trying to replicate something that they have seen before and see if it like works, or it's because like they don't know exactly how to express this a little bit more creatively or put themselves out there to be noticed.
Well, saying a clone is kind of a negative light for what it is, because in reality, people have been taking inspiration from others since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Everything is a remix. You know, and while I understand probably what you're talking about is more so like those Mr. Beast clones that just do exactly what he does. There's no doubt that like somebody like me or somebody like Willoli, if you said he was in this video, Willoli as well. If you look at his style, it definitely has elements from different YouTubers, right?
Yeah.
Where I take inspiration a lot from classic J-Schlatt, like a tribute to Minecraft and stuff like that, as well as Sequelitis, and a little bit Scott the Waz. Scott, this is interesting. Me and Scott the Waz seem like we're very similar. We seem like we share a lot in common, and so you'd think that I take a lot of inspiration from him. You'd think that I'm kind of a clone of him. I'm not. Everything that I do that is based off, like that is similar to Scott the Waz is happenstance. I watched one or two of his videos after I started doing this style of content. I just came to the same conclusions as he did. So it's really difficult to say a clone or anything like that, because
Yeah,
inspiration is a very important part of the creative process.
I guess. Yeah, no, that's honestly that's a fair point. But yeah, you're right. Inspiration comes from like a lot of things, and there's like I definitely have taken like a lot of inspiration from other creators as well.
Of course, the biggest problem with inspiration, where it becomes a clone versus inspiration, is a clone is just taking after one thing and replicating it entirely, while inspiration is taking an aspect of, like, using myself as an example again. Old J Schlatt Live did not show his face. Old J Schlatt Live did not show his body or his expressions or anything like that. It was very streamlined editing and stuff like that. So what I'm not replicating his entire video. I'm more so replicating the style of video, or like the music of the video, right? Like the music that I use is very, very similar to old Jay Schlatt's playlist, and it's also very similar to Tommy Unit's playlist, and a lot of my humor is similar to maybe something more adjacent to Sequelitis, or one could say Scott the Waz as well, because I've seen a couple of his videos, and I think that we do have a similar it's just sort of like that sense of interjecting yourself into it, where a clone, you're entirely replaceable, while inspiration, it has a lot of parts, but as soon as you take yourself out of it, it all falls apart.
When it comes to streaming, because we didn't really touch on the streaming aspect of like for me, or like in general, like streaming, it is like, yes, okay, like I'll admit it, like there's some, like I watch Ludwig a lot. Ludwig is like one of the streamers that I go to, like I just watch him. He's a fun guy. Like I like watching his content. I don't copy any of his streams like one-to-one. Like I'll pick ideas. I'm like, okay, I kind of like this idea. I'll like put it on the back burner, essentially, but I won't like copy it one-to-one. I've done his like, oh, I'll play this game for an hour and then end stream, or like if I lose, I'll end stream. I've done streams like that. Like I've done those because it's like, okay, it's kind of quirky, it's kind of funny. Like I can go with that. Even when you copy something, even one-to-one with live streaming, it is very heavy on the personality of the person. It is very heavy on how you act while streaming, because you can't copy someone's personality one-to-one like that, especially for a live stream. When it comes to me, I am my own person. I like have my own jokes. What I find funny is what I'll say,
If you can name one or several gripes or issues that you've had with YouTube, what would it be, and try to explain it in the best way possible?
Okay, I mean, I've kind of already covered these.
I know you
haven't
have.
used Twitter for YouTube support. YouTube Shorts should be a separate app because the algorithms are so different. The style of content is very different, and people try to promote long-form content through Shorts, but it never fucking works, and it's stupid. You're either a Shorts creator, you're a long-form creator, or you're a streamer, and you kind of do an in-between, but like whatever. You could easily link between the apps, kind of like how Instagram does, like Threads, right?
I can think of one, and that is YouTube not promoting smaller creators, like smaller channels. Because very rarely will I, on my homepage, get like small creators like on my homepage. Like it won't happen. It is very hard for small creators to be promoted onto someone's front page. Not a lot of recognition for that, like all the smaller creators.
Like, would you think this like a lot more like the standards that have been been getting up and up and up? It kind of feels like it's like too much. Like, what you say?
In a way, just the way that YouTube is changing for like that faster pace, like just keeps like ramping up and up and up and up. Like even if your like video is promoted onto the front page, just scroll down, and I don't know many people, like I personally don't scroll down past like the first 8. Like if I see the first 8, I'm like, I don't really want to watch any of these videos. I just kind of refresh the page. That's what I do.
I remember it was like from like one of the videos I saw. It was like that they're working on this thing called like, I think it was like the starboard or like the leaderboard, but like at least certain communities.
Oh shit! Right, they are.
Yeah, they are. Trying
but you
to
can pay for it. It's pay to win because you can pay like $20 and. Yeah, it's so ass. Unironically,
yeah,
like,
it's not.
EA
Yeah, it's not
Sports.
exactly much of a good thing, because I mentioned this to like Ramen as well, and it's like, even if if that there was like to roll out and it's like a pay to win the whole thing, it's not going to be effective, because like if you just pay yourself to the top, then like what's the point? You basically made it like a second thing, except like oh, I could just pay I could pay to be on the top. I get the gold medal and I didn't have to do anything. Like
I mean,
Luigi.
to be fair, they already do that now. You can pay money for an ad to get for YouTube to promote your video through ads, and that's also stupid. You're never gonna gain money back from that ever. I also hate all the YouTube advice gurus. You're like, hey guys, I'm gonna teach you how to get 1 million subs on YouTube, and then the guy has 6 subscribers. And it's like, all right, pal, we get it. You want to be this advice. You want to be a god. You want people to worship you as this
you want
YouTube
to be
advice guy.
like, I'm Mr. YouTube. This is how it works.
There you go. And then you're like, what with thumbnail? YouTube automatically generates it for you. You don't need to do that.
You want to
Like,
you want to upload a video? The video's been made for you.
You literally you go on Instagram, you go to cobalt.tools, you put in the Instagram link, you download it, you upload it to YouTube, and you don't get monetized because the content isn't original.
I mean, it's always been a thing, but copyright's always been a troubling thing. Like my most recent video, I could not show like even a second of the Kendrick Lamar halftime show in my video, which it's a little annoying. I've had a video of mine, you know, be restricted from monetization because I wanted to show a movie, and it wasn't worth going back to fix it. Most things I get frustrated about, it's not explicitly YouTube's fault. I can yell at the algorithm as much as I want and say, oh, it's doing this for me, or it's doing this to me. It's inflicting all these things. But really, it's just it just feels more like fate most of the time that I'm frustrated with. I guess it's hating the game some. There's something I'm frustrated about, but I haven't been able to verbalize it or put it into words. I just want more money. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I can very say that.
We need a better system when it comes to copyright claims and stuff like that. I think the appeal system sucks because 30 days to respond is just like, it should be 2 weeks. I'm gonna be so real with you. If they don't respond in 2 weeks, you win. They can file another claim later if they really want the money and it's actually fair. But like realistically, nobody is claiming your video and then walking away for 2 weeks unless they're in a coma, and that's just not happening. Thumbnails are way too fucking saturated. You can use the fill tool and literally get millions of views. You just fill it with a bright red color, put like Huggy Wuggy on it, and then boom, there's your thumbnail. Kids content should be way more regulated. Elsagate, blah blah blah. We thought we had it under control. No, we fucking don't. It's such a problem. If you're not going to put YouTube Shorts as a separate app, there should be an option to opt out of YouTube Shorts, so I don't see them on my homepage. I think there should also be a creator corner, which is small YouTube channels, and they're like it's like its own algorithm, its own system, where maybe you take channels that have under, let's say, 50,000 subscribers, and they're sort of mini trending. So it's because, you know, let's be honest, it's really hard to go trending nowadays unless you're releasing Despacito 2. We need more support for small creators, and I'm talking about genuine small creators, people who are actually putting in effort.
My main gripe with YouTube right now, I know I talked about algorithm flags things unnecessarily, but like there's also just straight up cropped adult content like in some of the advertisements that YouTube has. Like I've seen the most disturbing stuff sometimes, and you know, you can report it, you can flag it, but the fact that that's out there and they're taking down other people's channels for literally no good reason, but they're allowing this. And
I know which ones you're talking about. The other one that came into mind, I think it was like 2. One that was just like those like scam bots that would end up hacking your account in like the comments, because usually you could just detect them because like it's just a picture of like a girl's ass, and then it's the other one with like of like Mr. Beast gives like 5,000 V-Bucks whoever clicks the link. It's just like why?
Yeah.
It's just like,
yeah, seriously, no, like it's honestly bullshit, like how some of that like plays out. Like it's very confusing, and I think it more or less just points to the fact that there is a huge internal problem with how YouTube is handling this type of stuff. And it just needs to change straight up. Like it needs to be worked on.
Yeah,
This is kind of stupid.
They're not responsive enough or accountable enough, where it's very clear that they are biased and they will not take accountability for that bias, and they are not responsible. Like, people's accounts get banned, you know, their entire life's work get banned and taken off the internet, and YouTube will just like, whatever, you know, oops. They won't really address it. They won't really say sorry. They won't really say anything most of the time, and it's destructive. You know, if this happened to me or you, there's nothing we can really do.
Yeah, no,
right?
there's literally nothing we get to do. We would literally just like try to throw like a Twitter thing saying like, "Hey, restore the channel." Just come back with like a by RA response. It's like, okay, well, here's the
exactly.
form.
Right, and that's really destructive because it makes YouTube feel a lot more just like a force instead of like a community, you know, where it's just this thing that exists. It's like a raft, you know, you're standing on the raft, but if one day it capsizes because of things that you can't control, the raft itself will not help you. A better rephrasing of it is, my big problem with YouTube is how clearly biased and unfair it is. Big creator does something bad, Sniper Wolf
Yeah, I remember that
did
whole
something
thing.
bad, they're still here. How are they still here? Somebody that were a lot less prominent did that, they would be gone. They'd be gone in a second. You know, YouTube would be, they ban people for littler reasons on accident, you know? And then there's a big egregious case of a big YouTuber calling out another big YouTuber for literally going against the rules, and nothing happens. Big YouTubers are able to get their account back like that because of bias. It makes it disheartening to know that you're going into a site that is kind of biased against you.
Maybe it's because I'm not a hater, but I don't really like have an issue with YouTube. Like, there's nothing that's really jumped out at me, and I've been like, oh, this makes me upset.
That's honestly a first. You're honestly the first person that like I think has yet to name like any issues that you've like at least had with YouTube.
Honestly, when it comes to any type of platform, I'm gonna blame myself before I blame the site. Even
That's
like
fair.
with Twitch.
That is honestly fair.
Like, if there's a monetization issue, I'm like, okay, well, what did I do? Did I do something within the first minute that could impact revenue? Did I post something that goes against guidelines? Did I use copyrighted music? Like, I'm gonna analyze what I did first, and then if it goes past that, then I might be like, okay, well, this is a YouTube issue. But I mean, they haven't really given me any trouble since I've been uploading. But then again, I'm Twitch streamer gone YouTuber, so I guess it's a little different.
Do you agree that YouTubers under streamers being compared to some of like modern Hollywood celebs is a accurate statement, or is it just a wrong impression entirely?
It's a similar vein, different degree. You know, it's not as intense, it's not as mainstream. Most people are not gonna say, "Oh my gosh, J Schlatt live," you know. But if you go to a convention, they will get swarmed, right? They do not have the same normalcy that me and you do.
I think a lot of YouTubers, coming from personal experience, like to toot their own horn, and they like to think that and then, I mean, this is coming from me. There are actors and actresses who will star in smaller movies, like, I mean, C-list, D-list actors that will still hold more power. Oh, my bad.
No, that's fine.
That will still hold more power and authority and like fame than most YouTubers or streamers. There are a few YouTubers who, like, okay, they're household names. Like, Markiplier is one of them. Even though he's I would still categorize him as a gaming YouTuber, but he's been in the scene for so long and he's made an impression on so many people. Same thing with PewDiePie. But not every YouTuber or streamer is like that. Who's like this big celebrity to me could mean nothing to most people in a room. Like Ludwig, for example. I love Ludwig. Like, I think he's amazing. In my head, he's a celebrity, but to most people, he's just a guy.
He's not
like
he's not like worldwide and known by like every single person. Even if you name him or show his face, they're probably gonna say like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Exactly, and that's why I don't think that saying that YouTubers / streamers are modern Hollywood is an accurate statement. While I do think a lot of them are celebrities, and you can put them under that like category, I wouldn't say they're modern Hollywood because they're just not as recognizable.
Wrong impression. Like, yes, YouTubers are well known, but only to a smaller degree of people. Like, you can't look at Brad Pitt and then look at
Doug.
I don't know, Doug. Exactly. There are some cases where my statement is false. Mr. Beast, Markiplier is like maybe a stretch, but Mr. Beast for sure. I mean, he is literally hung out and like collabed with Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm pretty sure Brad Pitt in one of his videos.
Most people go their entire lives with a small network of people that whenever they say, hey, you know, they recognize their voice. Imagine you're just in the grocery aisle and somebody entirely alien to you, right? You have never seen their face before, says hi, right? Like, I know you. I've spent hours of my life with you, right? And you have no idea who they are, right? That is something that most people will not have to deal with. One could say that it's a little bit worse. It's just smaller pockets, but it tends to be the full range as well. You know, whenever it's mainstream, you have this variety of people, this big main body of people that some people are obsessed, like a small people are obsessed. Most people are just like a fan or like no, and then some people hate you or don't know who you are. With content creators, depending on the content creator, will have a broad number of people that like you, a small amount of people that obsess over you, and a small amount of people that also obsess over you, but in a negative way. And then most people don't know you, right? It's just a different ratio, but they run into similar things. You are a micro celebrity, right? It's not quite a celebrity. You know, you're not going to be on the front page of Forbes or whatever. You will still be recognized, and you will still get to the front page of internet things.
Well, I know internet micro celebrities a meme. I think there is a difference where I think a celebrity is still a celebrity, like a Hollywood celebrity. But I think the difference between YouTubers is the separation of industry, where to me, technically Mr. Beast is like more popular than 95% of Hollywood, more popular than all of Hollywood.
He had like voice cameos in like Kung Fu Panda 4 and like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
But I'll never see him as a celebrity because he knows who Keemstar is. And he's made direct references to Keemstar. So it's like he knows something way too specific that I know. So he'll never be like a celebrity to me. And I kind of feel that way about like people on the internet. Even though someone like Kai Cenat was literally just at like the NBA celebrity game, he got a layup. I think he got 2 layups. They're probably celebrities by now. If I don't know what the definition of one is, they definitely have enough influence and enough recognition in the public.
They're above that. I think, I genuinely think that like Kai Cenat is higher on the social ladder than the Kardashians. The internet, it's not something you can just dump something on, right? It's not a big truck. It's this series of tubes. I definitely think that it's taken such a strong prominence to the point where companies are getting social media managers and stuff, and they're all Zoomers, which is incredible. And it's definitely like, you remember when Ninja went on The Ellen Show and played Fortnite with her? Like, that was funny. That was like,
I think I remember. I think I can remember.
That was like 6 years ago, and she kept asking him how much money he made, and I thought it was really funny.
I remember like 2 instances of like ninjas. Like the one time he played Fortnite with Drake, and the one time he went like into like Times Square and like did like what was the dance, you know?
But I say there's like Hollywood celebrities, kind of, but also it's like they're definitely celebrities. They're e-celebs, and definitely most of them are very socially awkward, but some aren't. I do think like Aisha Speed is a normal fucking person. We need to acknowledge like this is the new Hollywood, right? Like, and it's very similar. 1 in a million make it big. YouTube, 1 in a trillion make it big, because there's millions of channels being made every day. Companies don't understand that this is the future, and the sooner they wake up and become like Opera GX, where they actually acknowledge that, the better.
With YouTube, it's also a lot easier to see like the spectrum of popular people. You could see the difference between someone with 4 million subscribers, 40 million, 40,000, and it's a lot more explicit than acting in Hollywood, where it's a lot easier to only see the top 1%, I guess.
Like there's kind of like a blurred line between these two like worlds that like it could exist. It's just like it doesn't apply to either or in that way. You know, he's like trying to do this thing of like trash packs.
Like toys?
Yeah, it was a toy in like the early 2000s and all that. He's making thing of like Beast Labs, and I was like, I was shocked when I saw this like on like the television and all that. It was like I saw it before, and it was like I was like, you're trying to make new trash packs, you'll never replace an OG. I saw it, it was like, I was shocked, and like it just didn't feel right that I was seeing him on the big screen TV.
Yeah, I actually saw some of his Beast toys in like a TJ Maxx one day.
Really?
I was tempted to buy it just because, like, for the meme, but I was like, I'm never going to do anything with this. And also, that's kind of the point, is that he wants you to buy it. You know what? Never mind. I guess Logan Paul too is like I don't know where the line is. Like, is Theo Von a celebrity even though he only has like a channel with 1/10 of the subscribers? Like, is he considered a celebrity, but is Logan Paul not? I don't know.
I think it's accurate. Hollywood celebrities, those are in like the mainstream entertainment sphere. They are in the quote unquote public eye. There's very few that have broken out and like gotten into the public eye, but they don't stay there. Whereas like Hollywood, you've constantly got these people being watched. You've constantly got tabloids going after them. They're going to these crazy parties. They're doing these crazy things behind the scenes. In that sense, it is similar to YouTube in that you have these people that like you idolize and you put them on a pedestal and you know very little about them. Regardless of how long you've been watching them, you know very little about them. And for some reason, you can't get yourself to stop idolizing this person. I've seen some shit, like seriously, straight up, I've seen some shit. It's just as bad. Like, it's smaller. Like I said, like they're a different scale, but like they are definitely comparable, and I've seen the parallels, and it's just like how I said that like kids that grow up on YouTube can be comparable to child stars. They really can, because what they're exposed to can be just the same as what Hollywood stars were exposed to as kids.
Like, I think everybody has very much heard of it, like parasocial, of how
Yep.
it's so like dangerous to do that.
I have this joke where I say I'm parasocially asexual because like it's genuinely like I want none of it. Like, more power to the people that are able to do it. I can't. Like, parasocialism is so scary to me. Have you seen Perfect Blue, the anime?
Perfect Blue.
It's kind of an oldie, and it's a
Oh,
little bit.
I think
yeah.
I remember seeing a review on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched Perfect Blue myself a couple years ago, and like it scared the absolute hell out of me because it's very much like a very good example of what hardcore parasocialism can do. And like there's even the cases where like, you know, we've got anonymous YouTubers or VTubers who don't show their face, but you still have people putting tracking devices into the stuff that they're gifting them to try and figure out like where they live. And
Yep.
it's
Camila.
scary. Yep, exactly. Like, poor fucking Camilla. When I heard about that, it made me so mad. But it's true. Like, parasocialism brings out the worst in people. And as a viewer, you're not entitled to know anything about who you're watching. Like, you aren't entitled to that. They get to choose what you get to know. And if you can't accept that, then like you've got a serious problem.
Do you think that being a YouTuber matters now? Does owning the title of being a YouTuber in the modern day hold any weight?
I think we're nearing that point where, yeah, I think definitely Mr. Beast helped with it. Like, helped understand people that YouTubers don't have to be Logan Paul obnoxious. They're these people who actually give back. He helped so much. And I would just say, like, yeah, we're reaching that point where mainstream media is acknowledging that YouTubers are something. I have a professor. Holy fuck, he's the most chronically online person ever. He loves ranting about Elon Musk and Ben Shapiro. He always says, these YouTubers. Like, why are we listening to these YouTubers? And he's like, why are you watching Hassan? The point is like, I kind of wince at it because I'm like, hey man, I'm a YouTuber and I don't give a fuck about the politics and stuff. When he says YouTuber, he sees it as these people are unqualified, they're spewing fucking bullshit, and it's getting millions of views. And then they show up on Fox News. And like, okay, fine, that's your opinion, right? But I think we're moving to that point where people are acknowledging YouTubers as YouTubers. And at some point, we will become the point where YouTubers are just people who might be qualified and are just using it as a platform. Like Vsauce, he's a smart-ass guy, or he's really good at reading the teleprompter, one of the two. The point is like, I would love to meet him. I would love to. Boogie? Fuck no. Boogie 298, no. He can get don't mind. The point, okay, no, we're gonna have to cut that out.
I'm killing that out.
You're gonna have to cut that out, holy shit. That's the most out of pocket. Oh.
I don't think the title matters, but to talk about like being a content creator and stuff like that, and the importance of that in the modern society, think it's decently important. You know, it's not, because there's so many different things that are keeping people out of mainstream industries like music and film and different arts and stuff like that. So having this accessible person that feels like they're there, it feels a lot more connected to you, is definitely important, you know, especially in a time where everything is so isolated. Having a readily available ability to just kind of be with other people and share different thoughts in a very casual way, instead of like dedicating a specific amount of time or anything like that. I think that that is important. But the title, you know, being a YouTuber, that I don't think that's really that important.
Even when people upload one YouTube video, one YouTube short even, you claim the title of YouTuber. Which is controversial. I don't think that everyone would agree with that. I think that people will only attribute the title of YouTuber to people who are actively uploading, who say like make money off of YouTube, people who are putting work into their videos. But I think if you are uploading videos on YouTube, you're a YouTuber. I mean, you did it. You published something on the side of YouTube. As for if it means anything, that once you've established like your brand is what means something. For example, Schlatt. Schlatt's a YouTuber. He's a big YouTuber. He makes a lot of money. But it's not the title YouTuber that means something. It's his brand, J Schlatt. Like that's what people hear, and they're like, oh, it's the big guy. It's this big creator. But the title itself, I don't think means anything in most context. Like if someone said, I know a YouTuber, I'd just be like, okay. Like I'm not gonna assume that it's this like big creator. I'm just gonna assume that it's someone like me, like someone who's just making YouTube videos.
It doesn't, only because it is a label, yes. Does it matter that much? Depends on who you're talking to. When someone hears YouTuber, they're gonna think, oh, this guy's like big, you know? Whereas like sometimes it's not the case. Like someone will say, oh, I'm a YouTuber, and have like 1.5k, 10,000 subscribers, and like even then, that is a lot of subscribers. Like 10,000 is a very big number. The weight of that title is what people value it as. For me, like I will say I'm a YouTuber, and I am a YouTuber because I make YouTube videos. I make content, you know? And so like I am a YouTuber and I am a streamer. I stream like maybe not as consistently as I was, but besides the point, I'm still a YouTuber and streamer, you know? That's kind of how it is.
I think it does. I think it can, depending on what your reach is. Because, like, when you get to a certain point as, like, a YouTuber, like, if you tell someone, like, oh, yeah, no, I have, like, let's say, like, even 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, people will be like, oh, dang. But if you tell them, oh, yeah, no, I have a fully functioning, like, channel with 200,000 subscribers, they see that and they go, oh, my goodness, that is insane. What the heck? And I feel like, you know, it's still, like, a cool thing to be able to say that you are a content creator, because a lot of people want to do it, especially now. In order to be successful, you kind of have to be a certain type of person, you know? Like, you really gotta do, like, the work, and you really have to push yourself to be able to get to that point. It's truly just, like, you know, hard work, and it's awe-inspiring, truly. Like, I have a couple of friends who have, like, big channels, and I watched them grow, and it was genuinely like the coolest thing. And as you know, they started to get more recognition in other places, and because they were as big as they were, they got opportunities that they wouldn't have otherwise gotten. So yeah, I genuinely would say that being a YouTuber still does matter. It is still a really cool thing to do if you're able to cultivate an audience, and if it's something that you love to do, you know, like, that's amazing. It's genuinely one of the better jobs out there, in my opinion, if you can make it into a job.
I don't want to say the value has gone down, but I think it has regulated. But I think people overreacted so much back then. Like, I remember, like, some people would have like 30,000 subscribers in 2007, and they would get like a TV show offer because people saw that, they're like, oh, that's a good sample size of an audience. I guess that's what people were thinking.
We'll take
And then
Fred and the annoying orange.
Fred, Tobuscus, Epic Mealtime had a show, and you also just have some YouTubers back then that were like in the LA lifestyle, even though they weren't huge, like Glozell. I know she's like considered someone who's in the industry, but I have no idea what she's doing. It's kind of weird. She sacrificed like a 4 million subscriber channel just so she could be in LA and like just have a regular Los Angeles acting career, I guess.
After listening to all 7 of the creators and thoughts of what they had to say, it's clear that while there is still that the divide there, and every opinion will very much be different to each and every person, there is still that desire to be a YouTuber still. The site still has its many share of awful implementations. It's lost the trust to many creators, and it's given birth to YouTubers that have very much made an impact on the platform, whether in a positive sense or in a negative sense. The bridge to express yourself in many ways in what way you want to be is still there. It'd be corny me to say that the current small channels and its new rising stars are trying to be a better reflection of what the platform was, but it is kinda like that. Many people have looked up to these YouTubers since their childhood, and many have wanted to have this job that allows you to just be in front of the camera and make what you want to make. No matter it would just be commentary, VTubing, gaming, streaming, essay content, or just very much making your own animated show, and it just gets popular. The desire to want to be a YouTuber is still ever present. Making this video has really challenged me in a way that was outside of what I very much did, and I had a good time making this. So instead of having to say something meaningful, because I honestly don't know what I could honestly say, I'm gonna just let these others very much say for me, as I think it just feels right to each and every one of them to express what they would have after being asked all these questions.
If you guys do want to start your own channel, don't be afraid to. Just grab a camera, just grab any software. You don't even need a camera. In this day and age, you can just have a mic and just play a game. And as long as you can make it entertaining enough, go for it. So just don't let anything stop you from making content. Don't let your friends stop you. Just don't let anyone stop you. You don't need anyone to stop you. The only person who's stopping you is yourself. And my basically final message is, go for it. What's the worst that could happen?
If you're watching this video and you're thinking about doing YouTube, go for it. Give it a shot. Try it out. And remember me when you're famous. Or give it a try. It's not for everyone, but I definitely think we need a lot more creative people. We need a lot more people making videos on this platform. And it's we need to motivate people to give it a shot. You have to understand that from the outside looking in, because I experienced this, from the outside looking in, you look at these videos and you're like, wow, this is so hard. And yeah, there's parts of it that are hard if you really want to sweat it, but the point is like editing is not that difficult, really. Like, you could just jump cut in a video and get millions of views. You don't have to do crazy over the top stuff. If you want to, you can. I mean, I'm in that boat. The point is that like, when I became a YouTuber, I realized, wait, this stuff isn't even like that hard. It's pretty intuitive. So I think there's a lot of people who feel overwhelmed by content creation, and you shouldn't be. You should give it a try if that's something you want to try. And if you don't like it, you know what? That's fine. It's not for everyone. And with that, I'm going to do something very authentic and say that you should watch my videos. Please, I need money.
God, this is gonna sound corny. If you want to be a YouTuber, literally just do it. Like, go record a commentary video, a gaming video, a self-care video, a mukbang. I don't care. Literally just record it, edit it, upload it. If you want to do it, you just have to do it, and no one else is going to be able to give you that drive or give you that passion. Personally, YouTube was one of the best things that happened to me. It's something that you should be willing to take a chance for, and if you're thinking about it, just do it.
If you want to be a content creator, go for it. Like, just do it. Like, you will learn, and if you truly find that you love what you do, like, nothing is stopping you from taking that chance. And even if you don't get super big, it's still a cultivation of you and what you like and what you talk about. And I think that in of itself is just a really, really neat thing. So yeah, if you want to become a content creator, please, 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 just go for it. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. They're stupid if they say so.
Right now, a lot of people like to be, like to dream of YouTube. They think of it as a dream job. It's the #1 dream job in the world. However, it's not unfamiliar for people to try it and, fall out of it. But there are definitely reasons for that. Just keep in mind with YouTubers, it's definitely not perfect, and it's definitely not as easy as some people think and as hard as other people think. But at the end of the day, it's just a job, and they're just people.
Subscribe to me. Subscribe to me first before you subscribe to Dino. Nah, subscribe to Dino first. Nah. I'll
Well,
do that
yeah,
first.
well-
but then, you know,
Well,
after
if you
that
have
whole
like
thing.
2 browsers open, you can do it like the same time somehow. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
if
there's
you
like a virus.
If you
that
have your
did the
double
thing.
monitors,
Yeah, the double.
yeah, open up
virus.
2 monitors. Get your second monitor. Open up
Yep.
my channel. Watch one of my videos on the side while you keep watching this video.
Yeah,
Okay.
watch 2 videos as well. Watch 2 videos as well.
Yeah.
All right, but you know,
Make you feel good. Give you a buzz.
Yeah.